your host. I am welcoming you episode 157. We are in season 5 in the American Business Podcast. Quote of the day, as you know, we have a great partnership with missionstatements.com, and here's the quote of the day. The trouble is that most of the people want to be right. The very best people, however, want to know if they are right. Okay, great. Well, we have a special guest in the American Business Podcast. Let's invite our guest to our stage and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Terry. Welcome to the American Business Podcast.
Thanks so much for the invitation.
Appreciate it. How are you? How is your week going so far?
Oh, things are going well. It's always fun when the springtime comes and you can get outside and really rock and roll.
This is good. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you in the American Business Podcast. I'm glad you join us today. And we have a lot to cover. If that's okay, let's get the conversation started. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and
Sure,
to
my
our
name's
viewers?
Terry Rich, and I grew up on a farm, but all the way up to today where I'm semi-retired, but I found the greatest retirement gig of the world, and that's public keynote speaking for conferences across the world. And that ties together with all the experiences I've had in growing up and going through the different businesses that I've worked for.
Yeah, this is really exciting. Well, we love to learn more about you. Can you tell us about your career journey a little bit? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Sure. I started out going to be a farmer, and I went to school at Iowa State, majored in math and science, and lo and behold, someone said, you can go over here and talk and make a living. So I decided to go into television and radio. So at the end of the senior year, I got a job with a little cable company that was just beginning, and they own different cable systems around the United States. And I raised my hand to say, that sounds like fun. That's different than broadcast television. But over the next 20 years, we got to help start the MTVs and the HBOs, work with folks like Ted Turner and John Malone and all these really, really brilliant entrepreneurs. And everything we touched seemed to turn to gold. It was so fun. In the middle of that, I also worked as a rock and roll DJ on the weekends and also got a chance to be on Johnny Carson on a promotion that I put together for my local hometown. It's really shot my career up. But lo and behold, after 2030, when I was actually almost 40 years old, someone came in and tried to do a hostile takeover of our New York Stock Exchange public company. And so we did a leverage buyout and sold. And all of a sudden, I feel like people did that were in cell phones or at Google or Amazon. I had all this money at age 40, everything I ever hoped for, but all of a sudden, I lost that entrepreneur spirit. So I decided to start my own companies. And what I started was a company that I developed when I was with the cable company, which was to do live HBO, the Disney Channel, ESPN free previews. So we'd come on and they'd switch us on a basic channel. You turn on your TV and there were free movies. Hey, Marge, they've got HBO on. And then we'd come on in between the movies and we would sell HBO. And the first weekend we did it, we sold over $15 million worth of HBO. So it was a real successful, had a lot of fun with it. Did that till I was 50. And then I thought, I got to get off the road. I was doing all these TV productions at Walt Disney World and New York and Hollywood. From Iowa, come home on the week, no one knew what we did. And midlife crisis, I decided to try to do something to give back to the community. Someone had ex-governor called and said, we're going to take over the zoo. Would you like to run the zoo? I grew up on a farm. If you can grow giraffes, you can sure cows, you can surely grow giraffes and tigers. So I took the zoo job. It was losing $600,000. It was a real great entrepreneurial experience. I turned that thing around, and ultimately we raised about $15 million in endowment, and it's going to be around forever. Second largest cultural attraction in the state. But then I got a call from the governor who said, hey, we want you to run the lottery, because that's kind of a deal. Well, it cost $3.5 million was the budget of the zoo. This was $350 million. And so over 10 years, I got to give away over $1 billion worth of prizes. And in the wake of all of that, got caught in the largest lottery scam in U.S. history. And that's kind of what ended then. Once we got it solved, we got them to confess, we put them in prison. And lo and behold, at that point, I decided I was going to retire, and I started doing public speaking. The reason I say that's the greatest job in the world is once you get that job and that business developed, you go into an organization. I've been all over the world, speaking in Europe, all over the United States. I go in a day or two early. I look around those towns. I go in, I speak for an hour, and then I listen to other speeches. I get to learn about their industry. Then I come home, I get the check, and I don't have to write a report. It really works out good. So that's what I'm doing today. In addition, I've written a couple of books, executive produced at least 2 or 3 documentaries, and it's been just a really, really fun life.
This is an exciting journey, and thank you for sharing this with us. What is the secret of your success?
I think it started early. I was lucky enough to get in that real entrepreneurial company. And I realized it's better to have tried and failed than to succeed at doing nothing. And so as I became more and more successful, I learned to always take a portion of what I made, what the success was, and put it aside to have a backup plan in case something happens in the company I was in. So I got to try a lot of different, really wild, crazy things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but I never bet the entire farm on the project I did. And I think that's kind of the secret to not going completely broke right away. If you just do that one idea that you have and come hell or high water, I'm going to make it work, and it doesn't work, then you feel all depressed and everything. It's always fun to have something on the side. So we got to try a lot of weird little fun things on the side. And that seemed to be the success by better to have tried and failed than to succeed at doing nothing.
State of your industry. How would you define the state of your industry? And if you can share some insights with us.
Well, the lottery industry has been going really well. You couldn't touch anything that I could say, I bet you won't take those glasses off in the next 5 minutes, and I could get $100,000 of people betting. And today, that's exactly what's grown into with the sports betting, where you can bet whether he's going to throw a pass this play, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. So the state of the industry is still really strong from a gambling standpoint. My problem with it is that I think that they're so ripe for fraud. And that's exactly what I got involved in and realized the oversight. If you don't have checks and balances within your organization, you could be taken right away and have the entire thing go down. So I think there's some hard roads coming down the road. Right now, it's at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is really insightful. And well, we have one popular subject in the American Business Podcast, and that is AI. How do you see the impact of AI on business nowadays?
Well, I got burned on AI with my first book, or excuse me, it was the second book. I wrote a book, and a couple of years ago, I got a call from the co-author with me, and he said, "Hey, somebody just stole your book. There's 2 books up there, the same name, and the writing's kind of the same, but about every 10th word has been changed. Someone took that book, and if you're going to steal a book, why not steal The Grapes of Wrath, not my darn book?" And they just changed 4 or 5 words. They kept our same pictures. They put a different cover on it, and we're selling it. And I realized right then we're in it big time for the AI. If that can make it work, I don't know if somebody's just testing it, see if they can find a book to be able to do that with, what that is. But there is no doubt. I've told all 3 of my children, if you're doing anything today, figure out how to use AI and how to use it as an asset, as an adjunct to what you're doing, not to replace anything you're doing. And you'll be well ahead. Too many people are afraid to jump in and try it, but I think it's going to be so important that AI is used in almost every single business.
How do you define leadership, and what are the great leadership qualities a good leader must have?
I learned that in the cable business. We had 2 leaders, and I think you've got to have, I think a good leader always finds people around, puts people around them that is stronger than they are in certain categories. So you need a good accountant, you need a good lawyer, you need all of these different things. You can't handle everything as an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur because you've got a new idea, and you need to get the people around you to make it work. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think, is sharing the success. We had in this cable television business, we did this leverage buyout. 150 different people got a piece of the action depending on how we built it up. So everybody had an investment and a reward if we put it together. I think that's a big one. And that's tied to knowing where the company is so that you can show them what our goals are and where we're at 6 months in. This is where we're at and where we hope to be. Because when people know what's expected of them, then they feel part of the action. I think that's a big one. But always, as I mentioned earlier, the other thing is keep putting aside, I call it research and development. Even if you're a 2-person owner of a business, to put some money aside and be working on and having a backup company, a backup plan, that if the original one starts going south, you can build it. Now, I liken it like this. If you really want to have an ice cream store, you decided you love lemon ice cream. So you start selling lemon ice cream, you do all the right research, you sell, you know, you need 100 customers and you're making lots of money, 50 customers break even, but 100 does well. At some point, you'll see this in all the business college training, is it will go up, 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 and then all of a sudden level off because people die, people move, people, you've got all the people that like lemon ice cream. So you've got to innovate and add more to it to grow. So always innovating and having diversity within your organization. So if one piece fails, the other continues to move. And then the other one is just finding ways to have fun. Do things you enjoy. Don't do things if you're working for someone, you're not enjoying it. Find something else.
Well, we talk about marketing practices in the American Business Podcast. From your point of view and based on your experience, what are the best marketing practices for the highest ROI nowadays?
One, and I learned this from the integrity of busting the largest lottery fraud in U.S. history, is be honest. I mean, don't promote things that you can't deliver. And when you promise something, deliver it. You know, I think that's part of it. And the other is every contact that you have as part of your marketing tools. You know, when I was in the lottery business, I was in charge at one point in programming. So I'd negotiated the contracts for HBO and ESPN and CNN, C-SPAN, all of those. And my boss, when I took the job, the big boss came in and said, Rich, he said, I just have one thing I want you to know and I want you to do. And that is don't screw anybody and don't let anybody screw us. We'll do a fair and honest deal and it'll pay back dividends. Well, when we cashed out and I went on to do my own businesses, boy, did it pay dividends because people enjoyed working with us. I mean, if you're honest, if you're sincere and you deliver a good product on time, on budget, I like always saying it's on time, on budget, that will pay back honestly with good business practices.
Have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career journey over the years?
You know, as I said, surround yourself with good people. There are many of them. My first boss, who was kind of the operations, was the best one because he was always good to people. He was one. His name was Jim County. Bill Riley was the first guy who hired me. He was a good mentor because he taught me on air. He'd done on air broadcasts for all his life, so he taught me the things of being able to talk like I'm doing now and not trying to pause too long as you do it. I do. And then you get into, as you grow, you realize in a business, and this is really important, if you're coming up with new ideas, you don't want everybody around the table looking just like you. That's why we talk about diversity being so important, because it's a little selfish because I want everybody to be able to buy my product, not just everybody that looks like me. And so as I grew older, I found a really good female mentor who tell me, you know, what maybe the female demographic would look like. And obviously Black Americans I'd hire a guy named Phil Moore, was just a great on-air talent that I worked with, who would tell me straight if I'm stepping on things, not doing the right things. But with all of that, I was able to expand my universe and expand my product acceptance amongst many people across a lot of demographics.
Key career lesson. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
Say that one more time.
Key career lesson.
I think the key career lesson, two things. One, I'm very successful at. The other, I'm not successful at all. First one is I've had a lot of jobs, as you can tell, but I've never been fired. I always got bored and wanted to go do something else or was looking at something else. But in that, I always raised my hand no matter where I was. If the boss said, hey, the toilet's broke, the janitor's gone, who can clean it up? I wouldn't know how to do it, but by God, I'd raise my hand because he or she would remember me. That's one. So volunteer for everything you can because you're meeting a lot of contacts and you will, that'll pay back. The second I wish I had learned, that I tell almost everybody coming out of college, you know, learn how to relax. I haven't done that yet. You know, you and I are pretty much A-types. You're successful, you're an A-type. But somehow we've got to learn how to relax and enjoy life a little more with the success that we had. Because I tell you, success is like cocaine. Once you taste it, you keep wanting more, you know? I've never done cocaine, but anyway, that's an important lesson. And I think a guy who is on Shark Tank taught me Damon John taught me something when I was doing a podcast just like this with him, and he was doing something and we weren't on quite yet. And what are you doing? He said, I'm writing down 4 ideas. And I thought, you have that many people hitting you with $1 million ideas? He said, no, 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 no. He said, I've had the success there. He said, these are ideas of something that are for me. At night, I write down what I want to do tomorrow morning that I've always wanted to do. And then the next morning I revise them and then I do it. I maybe want peanut butter sandwich at 9 o'clock in the morning, or I want to take my kids to the zoo tomorrow, or this or that. Because when you wake up and you do something for yourself and you're happy, you're going to be happy helping others. And I thought, wow, I'd never heard that one. And that's kind of like being able to relax, to do things that put you in the right frame of mind. Mine was when I went from cable to my first job in my own business, I got a job 2 weeks later that netted almost $500,000 because I'm saying this happened. And so I became a little superstitious. I went out to meet him in Denver, and I was early. So I went to McDonald's and I got a hash brown, cinnamon roll, and medium Diet Coke. And I went in, and 10 minutes later, I had a $250,000 job, and they asked me back for something else. I went back 2 weeks later. He said, I've got this problem over here. Now you did that for 3 days and it's $500,000. How much would it cost for a month? No contracts, anything else. He said, perfect. I'll send you half the money by Monday. Get it on the air by next Friday. Okay. Remember how you raise your hand? You know what? I have a hash brown and a cinnamon roll and a medium Diet Coke anytime I go to speak somewhere or whatever. Not so much that I'm superstitious, but it puts me in the frame of mind that I know I can accomplish it.
We have a little tradition in the American Business Podcast. I have a question for you coming from our previous guest.
Sure.
And after that, I'll ask you to leave me a question for our coming guest. So I'll make sure to ask that question as well.
Sure.
Okay, so here is the question from our previous guest. What would you have to do if you don't have to do anything?
Today, I'd like to say biking. That's the one thing that relaxes me most of all. If I can be by myself biking and do an hour and see the gorgeous sights and just chill out, that's probably what I would do.
And the question that you would like to leave with me today for our next guest.
With all the success and all of the good things that have happened to you, what's the one thing you do to relax? Have you ever felt like you're completely at peace with the world?
Okay, we'll make sure to ask that question in the next episode. Yes, appreciate it. In this episode, is there any question that you would like to ask me?
What's the most fun story that you would say happened to you that you would say, I've become successful?
I will say, well, the growth of American Business Podcast is a success for me. It is not because I started it. It is because I created an environment for professionals and experts like yourself to share their insights, their stories. And this education environment is the award, and that's a success to my from my point of view.
Very good. That's fun.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, and thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. What is your career advice for the next generation professionals?
Well, you heard the one. Raise your hand. Volunteer for anything and everything, even if you don't know how to do it. Say, I really don't know it, but I'm sure going to try to tackle it. They will know that you have the gumption and the drive to try to do something new, and that something new will probably be good for the company. So I think that's the big one. Learning how to relax, I mentioned, is probably the second. But do something that you enjoy. I think that as a new entrepreneur, I would never recommend somebody just go out and bet the farm to start a new company. I think it's better off and you can do this in high school, you can do this in college, go to work for McDonald's, saying who's the most successful business and the type of business I want to be in, and go to work for them and see what they're doing to do it, because there's always something you can do better and something you can improve upon and something you can come up with an idea. And I've got at least 2 ideas, $1 million ideas I haven't done yet. I'll tell you that if somebody wants to do them and help me, we can try to get it done, or they can do it on their own as far as I'm concerned. I love starting new ideas. But to have people as they're getting started, not bet the farm, learn new things. And then when you go out, surround yourself with good people, and you can have people consult with you, especially if you get a good professor or whatever, whether it's the business side of it, the legal side of it, marketing side of it. Find people and surround yourself with good people that you can put together to make it work. Because if you try to do everything on your own, you bet the farm you're destined for not being in success.
For those who like to be in touch with you, learn more about your services, what is the best way that they can get in touch with you?
Well, to get a sense of what I like, the Lotto, Lotto dot, or Lotto Doc, LOTTODOC.com, lottodoc.com is a documentary on the fraud. And that's already got 1 million and plus 100,000 just
Congratulations.
that you can do that. But to get in touch with me, Terry at terryspeaks.com, TERRY at terryspeaks.com, has my website, has the 2 or 3 speeches that I do for conferences. And I love doing it. I'd love to come out and talk to you. Or if you want, it has the link to the books and has a link to show you some of the things on the speeches. But most of all, love to say hello.
This is great. Well, Terry, thank you so much for being with us in the American
Are you ready
Business
for the $1 million ideas that somebody might want? I mean, this is how my mind works. Would you like one, Kevin?
Yes, sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
No, I don't know what I said. Okay, so when we started Mega Millions and Powerball were 2 separate games run by different states in the U.S. During the it isn't depression, but recession in the 2007-8, we talked to each other of, hey, you guys have a big jackpot. We don't. We have a big jackpot. You don't once in a while. Let's merge them. But we couldn't figure out who would run it. Everybody had their power struggles. So we decided to just cross-sell. We'll sell yours. You sell ours. We'll both sell both. It should be great. So I'm driving home. They said, hey, in the Powerball states, help us try to figure out how to market Mega Millions. Okay, well, I was saying, I was driving home and looked up, and there was you know what a crescent moon looks like? It looks like a little fingernail. I thought, oh my gosh, if we could get a laser or a spotlight to project the jackpot on the dark side of the moon, everybody would see it. It wouldn't cost us a dime. No one's ever done that. So I called around to see what I could do, and I tried to call up my university, and they hung up on me. That was some kooky guy. So I got a hold of another university with an astrophysicist, and they said, well, you can't get through the atmosphere. You'd have to get it out. So I need to get with Elon Musk so I can get that laser out there so it doesn't dissipate and go right on the moon. We could own the moon as a billboard. No one's thought of that yet. Now the second one is, I got a call from a small town, and this one would work if you're looking for tourism. If you're near a place, they were having 60,000 people drive by the interstate, but they were 1/8 of a mile off the interstate. Nobody's stopping by. Well, we started thinking, okay, everybody knows that you need gas. Well, there's lots of gas stations going down the interstate. You need food, what else do you need? Bathrooms, but not just any bathroom, clean family bathrooms. So let's build a Morton building with about 30 different stalls. We'll get Gerber to decorate them so that we have some old, new, let's put in an outhouse, different, all the new stuff with the bidets and all that sort of thing. We'll get Charmin to provide the toilet paper and do market research. People can come out, how'd the toilet paper feel? We'll sell baby Ruths. We'll have T-shirts. I got pooped out in Menlo, Iowa. We'll have all these things. But we'll do Burma Shave signs. They were exit 88. Urinate at exit 88. I know they would cost us nothing for marketing because all the late night shows that have a heyday coming out would get a king to come sit on the throne for the first time. And all the publicity we would get, that little town would have hundreds of thousands of people stopping by. Those are my 2 ideas. They're free. Anybody like try them, go for it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the generosity. And thank you so much for being with us in the American Business Podcast. Thank you for sharing your professional insights and wisdom with us today.
It was a pleasure. Good luck with all your success, Kim.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine, and I wish you a great day. And to our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be right back after a short break. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit for Business. Reddit has more than 400 million weekly visitors. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable. Reddit is the #1 source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on. When you spend $500, you'll get $500 in ad credit from Reddit.
True story. I am a Reddit user. Anytime I need feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit. I get the real answers, real feedback from real people, from Reddit communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising for your business. Get the visibility for your company, your products and services. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Would you like to start your business podcast? We are here to help. My name is Kevin Deveci. I am the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. When we started the American Business Podcast on February 28, 2025, we had only one mission in mind: to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, nonprofits, manufacturers, and the American business community. Within our first 6 months, we managed to pass 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and we received YouTube Silver Award. This is an important award. It shows our dedication to American business and to the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and American Business Podcast community. Now you can have your own branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. You can promote your company, your products, your services, and you'll have instant visibility in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and followers. You can promote your company, your products and services. You can educate and inspire businesses and individuals. More importantly, you can tell your story, your brand story. How did you get started? What makes you different? And how you are helping your customers and communities. As you know, in the American Business Podcast, I've been talking to more than 100 American businesses. Each business has a story that is inspiring and motivational. I know your business also has a great story which is motivational and inspiring. It is time for you to have your business podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We help you start your business podcast and we help you grow your business. This is a great opportunity for you to be visible in the marketplace in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers and subscribers. And this is a great opportunity for us to fulfill our mission to promote, support, and uplift American businesses. Please send us an email and let's get the conversation started. It is paas@americanpodcast.tv. Business podcasting as a service, powered by the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast is America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. My name is Kevin Deveci. I'm the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, working with you, and help you grow your business with your new business podcast. Thank you very much. Support for the show comes from Yelp. You know, I've been talking to more than 100 business owners in the American Business Podcast. Do you know the biggest problem for small businesses nowadays? It is visibility. That is why you should sign up and list your business on Yelp for Business. I have the QR code on the screen. And when you scan the QR code, the form will show up on your screen and you can sign up on the registration form. It comes with free trial with no obligation. Make it easy for your customers to find you. Do you know there are more than 70 million customers visiting Yelp website looking for services from businesses just like yours? Restaurants, home services, professional services, and many other businesses are being searched on Yelp on daily basis. That's a great opportunity. If you list your business on Yelp, you'll be findable, searchable, and you'll be visible. When you are visible, when your customers are able to find you, you're in business. You can get opportunities, you can get leads, you can build a healthy and profitable pipeline. Consider Yelp for business. Scan the QR code, sign up, and start your free trial. It comes with free trial. Very comfortable, no obligation. List your business and start getting the results and enjoy the benefits of Yelp business. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kirk Consulting, now Cherry Baker. It is time to digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps designed for small and mid-sized companies as well as enterprise-level companies to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the Anywhere apps that's very popular in the US. It is called Nonprofit Management Anywhere. If you are a nonprofit and you like to manage your donations, volunteers, fundraising events, your grants, and other documents for compliance and operational purposes, consider Nonprofit Management Anywhere. It is a completely cloud service. You can start using it today with no need for local installation on your server or on your local laptop and computers. It is user-friendly and it's easy to deploy, and you can start using it today. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about Anywhere apps, including Nonprofit Management Anywhere. Well, there is more. If you'd like to talk to me directly about Anywhere apps, you can just send me an email directly, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Anywhere apps are modern, they are easy to use, they are affordable, practical, and more importantly, that's designed for you to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Scan the QR code or just send me a direct email, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Opus Virtual Offices. Opus is offering you more than 600 different locations in the US. It is $99 a month. This includes prestigious business address, professional live call answering, personalized call transferring, business phone number, local phone number, professional mail services, voicemail converted to email. I have the QR code on the screen. You can sign up for Opus today. Opus is offering you hundreds of locations in the US that you can pick, any of them that you like, and you can start having your virtual office today. Please scan the QR code and start using Opus Virtual Offices today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Just Answer. Real help from real experts 24/7. Experts such as lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, computer technicians, home improvement experts, mechanics, personal tax experts, computer technicians, and many other experts are available for you 24/7 on Just Answer. You'll get your answers anytime, during the day, during the night, 24/7, and you'll get your answers from reliable sources. You can scan the QR code on the screen and you can sign up for Just Answer. The answers you need at a price that is right. Scan the QR code and sign up for Just Answer today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Brother. From large companies to small offices, Brother has powerful printers and all-in-ones for your growing business. Scan the QR code and find the best printers for your needs. When you scan the QR code, you can see the entire collection business office equipment collection of Brother USA and pick the one that you like. You'll find printers, labels, toners, all-in-ones, and other office equipment available on Brother website when you scan the QR code. Scan the QR code and start shopping for Brother office equipment today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Invicta Watches. Invicta Watches are known for their stylish design for men, women, as well as for unisex watches. When you scan the QR code on the screen, it will take to their online store and you can start shopping right away. When you go to the Invicta store website, you'll see watches in different collections for men, for women, different colors, different designs, as well as different sizes. There are hundreds of watches that you can see and you can pick from. Because it's end of the year, you'll also enjoy the benefits of their end of the year promotions and discounts. True story, I'm an Invicta fan. I've been using Invicta for many years. I have more than 10 Invicta watches in my wardrobe. This is one of them that I like. The style is pretty cool. I use these pretty much weekly basis. I have another one that I use on my wrist. This one is pretty cool. This one is called Shutter. I can change the face just by turning the buttons, and I can have different style of watches pretty much every day. Because it's pretty business looking, I can actually wear this with my business outfit as well. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. I'm sure you'll like Invicta watches. They have great styles and different colors as well as different technologies such as quartz, mechanical, automatic, and other watches are also available for your liking and for your choice. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. Thank you very much for your support. It is time to sign up for the online monthly networking event. Networking and podcasting together. It is called Connectional America Business Alliance, partnered and powered by the American Business Podcast. During this unique business networking event, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. At the same time, you will be in the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of business-minded YouTube subscribers, viewers, and listeners of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Connection America online monthly networking events are interactive. You'll be able to meet with other seasoned business professionals, and at the same time, you'll be able to interact with viewers and audience. That's a unique event. It is because it's podcasting plus networking. If you are in business, you should be networking. And if you're not networking, you are losing business every single day. That is why we created online monthly networking event called Connection America Business Alliance, CABA in short. Scan this QR code and sign up today. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the list of coming monthly online networking events. Pick the one that works for you and sign up. We have limited seating, and today is the great day to sign up for online business networking event. Networking plus podcasting. That is a unique online business networking opportunity. You can introduce yourself, your products and services, and you'll be able to network with other business professionals live on the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up today. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for your support.